Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And my good friend Laurie Reyon is back with us today, and we're going to be talking about whale and dolphin energy light medicine. So some of what we're going to talk about today is, we're going to ask about who are the white humpback whales. We're going to talk about the 12 light body templates that the whales have given us or have been given. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about what happens during a light body session with the whales and how does their healing actually work, and why do you call the dolphins epigeneticists? Wow, that's a tough one. And so I love whale and dolphin healing. I love the whales. When I hear whale songs specifically, I just get transported to, I don't know where, different dimensions. I just absolutely love it. So I'm so glad that we're talking about this. And of course, we love whale and dolphin healing, as many of my clients, know that, because one of my main clients and friends, she is a whale and dolphin healer. So we always get to experience her wonderful healing, and I absolutely love it. She's one of your students, Laurie. So it's like, yeah, she learned it from you, and we're just so happy that we get to work with her and experience her healing that she learned. So for those of you who don't know Laurie is an internationally known interspecies communicator and soul healer, and her gifts allow her to speak to the animals and the angels and translate their messages to humanity. She specializes in communication with the great whales and dolphins and recognizes the cetaceans as the ancient beings and master healers on this planet. Reyon is the director of the Omnidimensional Mystery School in Southern California. Reyon is a collaborating author of the best-selling book, Dolphins and Whales Forever. She's also a filmmaker, and in June of 2015, released the transformational film, Ascension Guidance. She facilitates spiritual cetacean retreats where you can interact with wild and free dolphins and whales all over the world. I'm not sure if that's happening right now, but maybe in the future. Just with COVID, it's been strange. So during the retreats, you will hear their messages and learn to communicate with them too. And I would love to go on one of these retreats one day. You can visit them in Hawaii, Bimini, Muria, Mexico, Southern California, and more. And Reyon is the creator of the Whale and Dolphin Energy Light Medicine School. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And she channels cetacean consciousness and their healing powers, offering whale healing and clearing sessions, light body activations, and dolphin DNA recalibration sessions for individuals and groups. And her energy healing online school is now enrolling and training certified practitioners in this work from all over the world. Like I said, one of my clients is also a certified practitioner. So it's powerful, really, really powerful. So I'm so glad that you're here, Laurie, and Master Cat Puddah is here too, right? Yes.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, she's my partner, and she'll probably sit up here for a little bit, but then we're going to talk about whales and dolphins, and so she'll probably take off. But she's happy to say hi to everybody. It's kind of warm here today, so I think she's wanting to go outside. But anyway, we're just delighted to be here with you guys and to talk about one of our favorite subjects, which is dolphins and whales. So.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you're here because that is a great topic. They're great healers, and it's something that I also love to experience. And there's always something new that I learn whenever you come on the show, Laurie. So there's always some new information or some new way of looking at it that is always wonderful for me as personally. And I just want to say really quickly, we are going to be taking live caller questions, so you can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. And for those of you on Facebook, I'm not following Facebook during the call. So if you are wanting to ask a question, come on into the Zoom room, okay? All right, so Laurie, where do we want to start today? So I know we're talking about whale and dolphin energy light medicine, but let's talk about the whales first, right? So who are the white humpback whales? Let's start there.
Well, the white humpback whales came to the planet first in their energy bodies, and then over the next few years in their physical bodies. The first inclination of the white whales came to me when I hosted Grandma Chandra, who's an amazing prophet, and she speaks only telepathically, but she's a dear friend and was a mentor when I first came into this work. She channeled about the white whales. And then I think I attended the Star Knowledge Conference in Cahokia, Illinois in 2011. and the names of the white whales came through, which I was just over the moon. I was just delighted to hear their names. I had no idea why. I just knew it was special. And so they came through in the Lakota language. And Judith Moore was there also doing some of the verbalization of Grandma's channels. And then when the conference was over, they handed me the paper where she channeled it. And I put it in my suitcase or whatever, came home. And then I went, oh, I think this is the only copy. What should we do? You know, and then I called Judith and she said, no, these are for you. You'll know what to do. And I'm like, I will, you know, like, oh, that's nice. So then a couple months later, Master Puddah came in and she said, our Hawaiian retreat in 2012 will be on the island of Kauai. And we will go there on March 3rd to the Stargate. And we will ask permission to open the Stargate to receive the white whales back to our planet. And this is, you know, your mission. This is our mission to do that. That's kind of a wild prophecy, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about it. So I called a lot of people. Again, this is what, about 10 years ago, you know? So, I mean, I was in my power, but not in the way I am now. And I called people to say, you know, what do you think of this prophecy that Pudah's giving me? It seems a bit wild, you know, Stargate, Kauai, you know, and all of them agreed that this was an authentic channel and that not only that, but they wanted to come, they wanted to be a part of it. So we held this amazing retreat at the end of February that went into March 3rd on the island of Kauai. And the kahunas, I always contact the kahunas when I come to Hawaii and I work with them because I respect the shaman part of, you know, the Polynesian culture and the levels of permission that are really required to be there and to do the spiritual work on the land. So we had two of the kahunas, the younger ones. Oh my God, they were amazing. And then we had the kahuna from Oahu's daughter, and she had built, well, not built, but she created a temple there called the Isis Temple, and she hosted us, at least all of our staff, you know. And when we got there, it was just so amazing. I can still remember it was Puddah's first physical trip to Hawaii. Since then, she's been there, I think, 10 times. But when you first take a cat to Hawaii, it's a lot of paperwork, you know, it's a big deal. So she was tired and she was laying on this bed. It was just, I can still see this purple bedspread. And she was all stretched out. And the kahuna's daughter came into the room and she said, Puddah, you have to tell me where the Stargate is. Because, you know, I live here on the island. Obviously, I'm going to be the guide. And so she told her, it's north of your house and a little bit east. It's called Anahola. And Tiffany said, I know exactly where you're talking about. It's already a sacred site. One of the old kahunas lived there. And she said, well, of course, it would be a sacred site already. The Polynesians would know that, you know. And then she said, did you know that the Dalai Lama was here 2 weeks ago? And we said, no. And she said, well, he took his group there to this exact spot where you say the Stargate is. And he said, this is where all souls enter the planet.
Oh, wow.
So Puddah said, isn't it nice the Dalai Lama agrees with me? You know? So we went there and it rained and it rained and it rained, but we did it. You know, we went there and had the ceremony, among other ceremonies, and we felt them, you know, that they came back. We welcomed them to the planet without really even knowing why or how or what was coming, just knew it was going to be something really fantastic, you know. So they proceeded to come to me that next year in 2012, one at a time, and they told me who they were and their cosmic name. And they told me they're here to help the humans create light body, which is to return to our true selves, to return to the authentic self, which is, you know, we were light before we had form.
Yeah.
And to ease the burdens that humans carry as we move back into the fifth dimension and, you know, remember the elders, basically. But they explained to me that they're not from Earth. They hadn't been on Earth since Earth was created as a planet. That's how long ago. But now it was time that these 12 whales would come and they will, you know, be doing this work. And so they gave me these templates, which I can share if you like, but just the essence of the story is that took most of the next year, really. And it didn't happen all at once. It happened a little bit at a time. And then I experimented with what they gave me, mostly on me and some friends. And we loved it. We just loved it. We were transformed by it. As you know, now you've done some of them.
Yeah.
And then in July of 2012, I was working on the film and my filmmaker said, a white whale has been born and is in Australia. And she sent me a picture. Some of you may have seen it. He's like a poster child. He's breaching out of the water and his name is Migaloo. And so and it turns out that he was born earlier on, but he made his appearance to the people in July of 2012. And people started taking pictures of him and tuning in because he was, you know, again, like a poster child for all of the white whales. And so I never could get any information out of this whale about mother and father or, you know, any earthbound experience. So I think he walked in. I don't think he was actually born.
Right.
Can't prove that, of course, but I mean, that's the essence of it, and carries the mother energy, even though it's a male body. of the Wataki'i is the mother whale. And so then over time, more started to be revealed. You know, most of them were born around Norway and around up in the colder waters, and would come and say, you know, I'm here now in the physical, but you still, of course, can connect to me. You know, when you summon a whale, whether it's a white whale or another whale, and you have a pure heart and you're seeking healing and wisdom, they come. They come every time. If you just sit down at your desk or at your couch and you summon a whale, they may or may not come. I mean, they'll come and support you energetically, but not necessarily bring their whole body down and embrace it. Now, when we have a healing set up, I mean, they know about it, of course. They're working through me. They know when the appointment is. They know who the person is. They've already accessed your Akashic records by the time we have the session. And so they know all about you in every lifetime. I mean, this is the vastness of their wisdom. And they access your records. And then they're waiting for the part where you give permission. Because here we have free will. And so and they have all this, they have all these abilities they can share with us, all of the wisdom of the ages. But if we don't give permission and we don't really open our heart to them, there's nothing they can do for us. You know, that's the beauty of, I guess, free will.
Yeah.
So that's what we encourage people to do, is to tap in to the wisdom of your heart, which will help you remember the elders. Not only just the white whales, but the whales of Earth, who are the molecular librarians of Earth. They're out there doing their amazing work. And of course, they're helping us as we allow for it. They're here to help us with what we call core level healing, which is to clear lower and negative energies. They actually are the violet flame. Most people hear about the violet flame, and it's here through Saint Germain. And that's true. He is one of the keepers of the violet flame. But the whales are, I mean, they emanate it. Their whole body is violet flame. Wow. So when we contact those, I just want to give a pitch for them too, because that's important first. Every session we do when people come into the school and they want to work with the whales is they receive what we call a whale healing and clearing session, which is a core level healing. And the violet flame sweeps through every cell, every molecule, every atom, every subatomic particle, even the fractal level, and clears as much as they can based on what your soul allows for. You know, they work for you basically, and your higher being will determine what can or can't be done. And so they come in like doctors, I guess you'd say, and they make those adjustments. And they do it at amazing rates. You know, like our sessions are about an hour and a half. And an hour and a half, people's whole life can change if they're open to it. We can't guarantee it. You know, we don't know. I don't actually know what's going to happen. And I don't pretend to be a whale or have that kind of wisdom, but I am very telepathic with them. And I'm delighted to be their sort of secretary or nurse or whatever you call it. I hold the space, you know. I make it happen by connecting to people. And then I also use Andara crystals, which I put right on their body. And Master Puddah usually lays on their body, even if it's etheric. She really likes to add her energy. And we've wondered for many years what she's really doing. And Dr. Todd Ovakaitis actually said to me, he said, she's moving their stem cells. She's working with the whales. Wow. So kind of cool. Great combination.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. And so I'm just going to invite everyone here who's watching or listening now or later, please open up your hearts to receive the healing and wisdom that is going through this call, okay? Because even as Laurie is talking, if you can just be able to, you know, just perceive the energies flowing through, because, you know, if you just think about the whales, if you call them in, they will come, right? So just from your heart space, call them in, allow them to assist you even now during this conversation.
Absolutely. I just thought, yeah, here we are. I just thought I would take a moment to call in the white whales, if you like. Everybody be open to that?
Absolutely.
Just to come in and stand in basically a circle around you, etherically around our homes. They're huge beings, but I'd like them to be acknowledged for who they are. So the name I'm going to use is the name that they gave me after they came in with the Lakota name. I'm going to use their cosmic names. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to see yourself being really grounded and really connected, and just come into that, what we call the childhood innocence of just wonder, just, you know, without any analytical thoughts or judgment, just feel. And so now see yourself like standing on a clock. We'll start with 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We'll go around that way and see the circle forming. So please welcome Mobian. And take a deep breath. And now welcome Tristel. And now Agoron. Welcome Lavaniel. Welcome, Sira. Welcome, Raphael. Welcome, Trajur. Welcome, Andorafon. And now Hathorion. Welcome, Ki'ikoa. And now Kintan. Welcome, Sunra. You see all 12 of those whales now beaming their light into you as you connect with them. These old friends from long ago, you know them. It's just been a very long time in the stretch of time since you've connected with them. And now let's welcome the overlighting presence of the mother whale, Watakiti. Beautiful. And hopefully you're feeling that energy now. So connect with them. So it might be a good time to share a channel. What do you think?
Absolutely,
Oh,
yes.
So
okay. Stay in this space, keep receiving, keep connecting, and just listen the best you can.
The universe is one living, breathing, conscious being, demonstrating interconnectedness and oneness. The incarnated whales are an example of the all-loving, all-knowing consciousness that came to planet Earth to be a steward for Gaia and for humanity. As a species, the whales and dolphins are the most spiritually and intellectually evolved souls in our world, and they anchor the light that's beamed to Mother Earth. The whales have held the highest, the whales have held the highest incarnated vibration on the planet for eons, and also hold the resonance or frequency. This is the heartbeat for Gaia. We would not have survived these many years if the whales had not chosen to use their vibration to balance and steady our beautiful planet. The end of polarity or duality is nearing. The responsibilities the whales have held for humanity is now being shared with many humans as we awaken to our true selves and choose to take our power as children of Creator Source. We are reclaiming the true dreaming state of the living heart. This is true creatorship. What this means is that through exercising intentional evolution, we are entering into a time when thoughts will manifest very quickly into our dimensional realities. Because many of us have chosen to awaken to the truth of our soul's journey and become conscious creators, we are now able to connect with the supersentient, ancient cetaceans that we call the whales. Remembering that they are the ancients, they truly are our elders and are the greatest healers we will know throughout our many journeys and lifetimes upon this planet we call Earth. The whales ask you to call upon them often to realign your auric fields and your organ systems. They remind you of the phrase, ask and you will receive. It is their honor to assist us, and they come in joy and in a state of bliss that can best be described as living in oneness with all that is. The whales speak of how living within the heart is gaining consciousness while living within our physical bodies. The whales are offering us information and exercises to achieve Christ consciousness. They are referring to the state of awareness that Jesus had while he was incarnated, as well as many other avatars. Feeling into your body now and the connection that you have. We'll bring in a message here from the white whales. This is Vendakata, and he says, now is the time to accelerate your transition as a physical human. It is time to reclaim your knowledge of your own divine life blueprint, your own avatar status. As we expand our consciousness and come into self-awareness, we can remember that we humans have the potential to access our true mastery. And this is the lifetime you've waited for. We have the potential to become what we would call a superhuman as we work with the whales, as we move into intentional evolution from the place of being a conscious creator. So as we awaken to the truth of who we really are, because no one is from Earth, you all have star family that are waiting to help you. The whales use their eldership, so to speak, to offer us an opportunity to unlock the mechanisms within us and to open what they call the crystalline seals. The great whales have shared that they are the keepers of the codes of creation. They are our galactic ancestors, and they seek now to connect with you, one by one, to activate your dormant DNA and re-encode you with super mastery. These processes can release you from emotional and physical blocks that bound you, or bind you, I should say, to duality, polarity. They will help you activate the crystalline DNA within you and assist you in transforming the water-based body that you inhabit to a light body. They're here to help you reclaim your divine spiritual gifts that are yours to claim. That includes telepathic communication, natural healing, alchemy, and of course, remembering who you are and accessing your divine life blueprint, which will reveal your divine life mission. And again, to connect to the sacred geometry of your own living light fields called the Merkaba, to tune your fields to the communications from the galactics and the angelics, connecting yourself to the world light grid and becoming an activated being in service to Mother Earth. We love you so. We are the whales. Namaste. So,
Oh, wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And really, it is a call for all of us to be in our power, be in our light, share our light, and really align to the truth of who we are, right?
Yes.
We are light, and it's about remembering that and allowing more of that light to radiate through us.
Yes. Working with whales is initiatory, they call it. You know, it's they'll give you as much light as you can carry while still keeping you balanced. You know, it's sort of like they don't want you to go and put your finger in the light socket and fry yourself. It'd be like that. I mean, it has to come in measured units, so to speak, that are right for you while you integrate them and while you gently shift your body and your consciousness, that your thought forms even, back to that of joy and happiness.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of humans right now that haven't remembered who they are, and they still believe that whatever's negative that's going on the planet is out of their control, and that's not true. Everything that's happening on the planet is a creation of either one or all of us, and whether we like it or don't like it isn't really the issue. It's a matter of saying, I choose to create something different, or I choose to expand into more light. Light is wisdom, and light is information. And again, light is your true self. So I think everyone's intention should move into how much light can I carry today? You
Absolutely.
know, and not in a competitive way, but in choosing to, be that way.
Yeah. For each of us, it's going to be different, right? But we
Absolutely.
can each hold a little bit more light, right?
Yeah. I mean, coming to the planet, there's no two people alike, as you know, no two animals alike. We are diversified for a reason. And that's part of the reason that we say the divine life mission. You're here to do something, probably more than one thing, that nobody else could do. And that's a very important message to hear. You may not believe that, but it's true. And it helps you maybe step out of what we would call the worthiness issue, where I'm sorry, our society and many of our religions have taught you that you're not worthy and fall on your knees kind of thing, This is not the truth at all. You're incredibly powerful, eternal, immortal, divine being. And you carry the wisdom of the ages within your DNA. And then you have access to these incredible ones that came before us, the librarians, basically, to get more knowledge, more wisdom. And as you said earlier in the call, it's always changing. I mean, we're being given what's appropriate for us. Master Puddah always says, Earth is on a need to know basis.
Yeah.
We give you what you need, what we can allow for you without confusing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I always say, if, because a lot of people say, well, I want it all now. So if you have it all now, you will, fry up, because you can't handle all of it now, right? It takes a little bit of time.
If all your DNA was activated, you descend and you wouldn't be here doing the work. You just go home.
Yeah, and I think some people are now saying, well, yeah, I'm fine with that. I want to go. Let me go. But
Yeah,
that's
but
not,
your soul would tell you different. Your soul
yeah,
would say that,
exactly.
you kind of stood in line to audition for the part you got. Now play it.
Yeah, exactly. You
Uh,
came here
But
for a
always says,
reason, yeah.
yeah. But always says, while you're sleeping at night, you go home basically and you work with your team and you write the script, so to speak, for tomorrow. And then when you wake up, it always says, now get your lines right today. I mean, really, we are the vehicle for the soul. And
Mhm.
this huge team of beings that serves every single one of us. And they always know what's best for us, and they work hard to uh, set up synchronistic events for us. But if we're not listening,
Mhm.
we're not tuned into the heart, then we could miss that,
Yeah.
we could miss the opportunities that are set up for us. I had a memory to just kind of display that from 94. I had a near-death experience and I had a life review on the other side. It was incredible, interesting. And so now I'm very conscious of every thought, every words too, that I wouldn't want to say anything ever that's not positive or loving, because you're going to relive it and you're going to see it and you're responsible for it,
Yeah.
once you have that knowledge. But I saw with my guides, I remember they showed me Earth basically from wherever I was in this higher dimension. And they showed me, because I learned that we all pick our parents, right? We choose our family.
Mhm.
And there was this man and woman in the grocery store, and they had agreed to come together and have a baby. And the soul that I was standing next to said, that's not going to be my mom and dad. That's going to be my mom and dad. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he said, yeah, but we got to get them together. And so far it's not working. They haven't even met each other yet. So here they were, and she was squeezing the oranges and he was squeezing the grapefruit, and the guides are going, come on, talk to each other, come on. And then they parted. They took their shopping carts and went off, and everybody went, we'll have to try again.
Right. Wow.
Like ships in the night, they hadn't got them together yet.
Mhm.
The soul wanted to come to Earth, but got to get mom and dad together.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that we do choose our parents. We choose where we're going to be born, what country, what
Yep,
gender. We choose all of that before we
we
come.
do. We are the creators of our own reality. Again, this is not something you're taught as a child. I wish it was,
Mhm.
because we'd all be so much more empowered if we were taught
Yeah.
how incredible, how to tap into the true self. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all aspects
Absolutely.
of the creator, and we're loved. Each person is loved equally. So much love coming from them.
Yeah.
And your
Absolutely. And
guides.
sorry.
Oh, I said, and your guides. We aren't taught
Yeah.
to connect to our guides. There's three other beings with every single soul, every single human. And I don't know too many people that talk to them, or know them, but they're right there, they're sort of waiting to help you.
Mm-hmm. That's what I always say. Like, we are not alone. We are so supported and we are so loved that it's like we just need to reach out. We need to get out of our head, come back to our heart space, and really connect with who we are, and then create, then move into what we would like to do next. Like what would we like to experience? And a
Yeah,
lot of times it comes in those still moments, those quiet moments, a little thought will, jump in, at that time, because we're so busy. We're so busy all the time. And if we don't take the time to be still, we kind of miss the messages, right? The
right,
guidance.
right. I highly recommend in working with the animals and the angels that you create a quiet space for yourself in the morning.
Mhm.
Master Puddah would say, before you answer the phone, before you go on your computer, preferably outside in nature, at least take 10 or 15 minutes
Yeah.
and go and sit and be quiet and ground yourself, connect to the earth. That's your mother. Bring that energy up. Oh my God, it's powerful when you do that, when you just acknowledge her and let that energy come up. And then you connect to the sun, which is the portal, of course, our gateway for source light to come through the sun.
Hmm.
So you're connecting to your creator by doing that. And then you breathe that both into your heart. And then you just, you're in your heart and you're listening. It's so important. You'll hear, trust me, you'll hear what's best for you. And of course you can ask questions too, about your day or about different, things that you're trying to work on to decide.
Yeah.
You'll get the guidance that you need. The longer I know my guides, the longer I walk this path, as spirituality, the less I have to do. Really, I'm going to have to do the action steps and I have to show up, and I have, like today I'm talking, but I'm talking for them. I'm talking about them,
Hmm.
to bring in their wisdom. I don't pretend to know on my own anymore. And I don't even really, like, if I'm going to plan a class, I don't really do that anymore. I don't just go to the calendar and pick a date. I let them pick the date. because they have the overview of who might be available or what the best date to do that energetically, that particular class. And so, I mean, I'm there participating in my free will and making the decision, but the information is coming from the higher realms.
So you're co-creating your day-to-day life with them.
Yeah. Even to the point where I've told the story so many times that usually on Tuesday, at least in, the way before the pandemic and everything came in, I had kind of a regular thing is one of my guides would come into the room and say, okay, I need your shopping list. And I'm like, okay. And we used to joke about it, but I mean, even though they can read my mind, they wanted me to write down the shopping list and then hand it to them. Basically say, this is what, and then when it's shopping time, I mean, there's like 3 stores in our area. They're all good.
Yeah.
And they tell me what store to go to, and everything pretty much would be on sale that I had on my list. And they'd participate in that way to make my life easier, And they thought it was so much fun. I mean, that was fun for them to do that. But I had to participate by saying, this is what I want. This is what I need at the store.
Yeah.
And that's very practical, very practical.
And that's the thing, like we still have to take some actions as we are creating our life with our guides, our angels, and our team. We still need to take some actions.
Yeah, I haven't got him to drive the car yet, so I still have to do that.
Yeah, that's coming up in the future. Yes, absolutely.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. We'll be chauffeured around here.
Yeah. Okay, so where were we? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the light body and the sessions with the whales. What else? Where do you?
Well, we can do that. Yeah. So on our website is a page called Healing, and you can go into there and read a lot of detail about the sessions we do. But I mentioned already the first session when you want to work with whales is a healing and clearing, and we really the whale comes down around your house, and it's basically bringing you mass amounts of the violet flame. So, and for those that don't understand, I mean, they come in their light body, which is the Merkaba, and everybody has a Merkaba. But their Merkaba is about the size of your house. Okay, it's huge because they're big beings in their light body. But it comes and descends down around, and it starts to spin in both directions, basically. It spins counterclockwise, which is the same way Gaia is. And this is the blazing violet flame that goes through every cell, sweeping out toxins and cutting cords to old contracts that just don't serve you anymore. And again, all being guided by your higher self. So nothing is done without the soul's permission. And then the clockwise spin is the celestial light that they carry, and also their connection to the angelics that work with them. They also have a team. So it's going like this. It's spinning in both directions, healing and clearing, and then restoring the cells with celestial light. It's almost simultaneous. So there's no other being that we know that does this, that heals and clears and then immediately restores you at the same time. It's just not, we don't know. I mean, I think at this point, the whales are the only ones that can do that. And so they'll ask you for your intention. They ask you for many questions, basically, where you give permission. And you do some affirmations to raise your vibration. We do a water blessing, which is so incredible for you to understand, is that I've always known that when the whale song permeates your body, it starts to shift things. I've always known that. I've known it for, I think, about 19 years. I don't understand it, but I know it happens because that's part of my faith in working with them. And I've seen it over and over. Even doing a show like this, if we play whale songs, sometimes the cats and dogs come running into the room. They're just hungry for it, So the sounds of the humpback whales they say they carry the codes of creation. So that it's restorative. And Dr. Emoto, remember the Japanese scientist that proved that water is sentient by playing, beautiful music and saying words of blessing, like I love you, I honor you, I respect you, and watching the crystals of the water change in the vibration of happiness, basically. So what the whale song does when it comes in is it changes your blood chemistry, the molecular structure of your blood, your lymph, all of the fluid in your body to molecules of the star tetrahedron. And for you people that don't know, the star tetrahedron is the Merkaba. It is the light body. It's 2 3-sided pyramids that are butt to butt, so to speak, and then they overlap. And that's the actual sacred geometry of everyone's Merkaba, everyone's light body. But they turn your molecules into that. Isn't that amazing? So that's scientific proof of their healing abilities. Because I don't know anybody else that can do that. So this was proven in Japan. Dr. Todd Ovakaides, he's from here in the States, and he works with Cryon, and Dr. Emoto were working with the Japanese tap water, which I heard from him is the most filthy tap water. It's like green and disgusting. And so not even the song Amazing Grace could clear that water. But when they played humpback whale sounds, it cleared instantly. Water became pristine again. So even if you just played whale sounds in your house, that would be the first step to changing your vibration and changing the vibrancy of your house.
And
so
that
we
is
do that.
very easy to do. That is so
It
easy.
is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's like let them clean your house, you know?
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, this is their gift. You know, I think I told you last time I was on that there's a probe that it's rotating around the sun, and it's sending back whale sounds. So whale sounds are, I'll explain it. They're coming through the sun, basically interdimensionally. So I mean, they're not just here on Earth doing it. I mean, they're in the cosmos with their beautiful sounds, creating all kinds of different vibrations.
Wow.
So the scientists, of course, can't figure out how they hear whale sounds in space, but you know.
Yeah, they'll figure it out eventually. They'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
Science is always a little bit behind.
I think it's one of the most important tips of wisdom that we can carry is we first connect to the elders, let the elders sing for you and clean your house and change the vibrancy of your body. And this is before you even lay down and set intention to change. It's already happening. You know? Yeah,
it already starts happening. And I think even today during this conversation that we've been having, I think we've already started shifting our energy fields, ourselves and our space. I know that when we first started, like when you first started talking, I remember I got chills all over. And then as you finished doing the channeling, then I was like so hot, you know. So it's like the energy is shifting as we've been talking about the whales, having them here with us, calling them in, and then you doing the channeling and bringing all the 12 in, you know. So definitely even that alone has been shifting our energy and our vibration.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel the warmth. I do. I'm just like sweating actually sitting here. Yeah. So they say that they can offer us an accelerated change for growth and a deeper connection to our own soul by helping clear out everything. So everything that they represent moves us into a higher state of consciousness. And even if you can't get behind the fact that, oh, wow, I'm going to work with the whale, I never connected with the whales before, still can happen. It still can, even if you don't really remember them yet. It took me years to understand what I was being shown. I'd moved down to Baja after I had the near-death experience in the car accident to recover, and I ended up even staying, you know, even after I sort of part-time came back to work. I kept this house down there, and I started studying with a shaman that lived down there, and I was having my own spiritual awakening, basically with the dolphins. And I went to a shaman circle, fire ceremony actually, with the shaman, and one day he called me into the circle, and he had me stand up, and he said, because of you, I was able to journey out into the galaxy further than I've ever been before. And what I saw was you with the whales. And he said, I saw you working with them. And he said, I'm going to call you Standing Whale Mother. I was so embarrassed. I was like, you know, does he think I'm a whale or what? You know, I was like really embarrassed. And I hadn't connected with him because every time I'd ever gone out on a boat or tried, you know, to go, I had motion sickness. It was really severe.
Right.
And so I had to clear that, which came a few years later. But he planted that seed, which he saw a part of me that I didn't see yet.
Yeah.
And of course,
that's so cool.
And
it's so funny that you had motion sickness, right? So severe motion sickness that it was like, and even though you're supposed to be working with the whales, working with the dolphins, taking guided tours and all that stuff, but you have this motion sickness.
Yeah. I was still, let's see, about 2004, I think I started 3 maybe. Well, I was hearing him, and mostly I think I just thought, because Puddah has always been a translator for everything and everyone for me. She likes to talk nonstop. So I pretty much thought it was her, without realizing she was, again, going to be the secretary for them. But she helped me create what we called a whale healing ceremony or workshop. And basically we called in Pleiadian emissaries because I was connected to them since I lived down on the beach. And it was amazing, but it was, you know, a lie down basically and receive the whale energy and an alignment. And it was good. It was very good. But I had not yet seen them or worked with them in the physical. And I guess that's something that they wanted me to do. So that year in our healing center, we hosted Grandma Chandra, as I mentioned, and she came from Arizona. And after the workshop was over, she said, when are you going to do your real mission? I said, I am doing my real mission. I'm doing great, you know, doing animal communication. I'm, you know, feeling the dolphins and saying some of the words the whales want me to say, you know. She said, but you're supposed to be on a boat, you know. I mean, that's part of it. You got to get out on the boat and take people out, give them tours, and receive the messages of the dolphins and whales right there on the boat. I'm like, okay, well, I get seasick, so that's not going to happen. You know? And she says, well, so heal it already.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's your problem? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, I'm not only that, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to come back in a month. And she looked at her mom and she said, we're going to schedule a boat trip. And if you throw up, you know, I'll do the messages, but I think you can heal yourself in that time. We can get you off, you know, get you started. So I was scared, you know, sweating bullets, you know, that I worked on myself and I prayed. And at the time, my roommates were studying matrix energetics. They worked on me. Anyway, I went out and did that first boat trip. And again, my face was bright red and I was sweating, but I didn't get sick. It's like one of the people I've worked with since said, it's like your body's looking for the old program. So you're nervous because it's like the computer looking for a program that you've already deleted. You know? It's like that.
Yeah.
But it never came. I never got sick. Never got woozy. And that was the first time. That was the first time. So since then, I mean, many years later, I'm not going to tell you I've never been seasick because I have a few times, but not violently. And it would just be, oh, I don't feel good, you know, and I'd lean over and toss your cookies kind of thing, you know, and then I'm fine. So, but it doesn't happen very often. And I would say I'm 99% healed. So.
But the thing is, it didn't stop you from fulfilling your mission. That's the thing, right?
No. Well, I've kind of gotten over the thought that if I'm going to be sick in front of people, it's embarrassing. But, you know, I'm just like, because I'm also with a lot of other people over the years and sometimes they get sick, you know.
Yeah.
And you want to be supportive, you know. It's like it can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
And I don't think sometimes it's just because the water's rough, you know. I mean, it can tilt your tummy, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So we have some people with their hands raised, and I think there was some questions in the chat as well. Did you want to take some questions or do you want to wait? Totally up to you.
I'm very open, whatever you feel.
All right. So Linda, you had your hand raised.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, I love it. It's so nice to talk to you. Okay, so my question is about Ascension and the DNA strands. So how do we connect ourselves better with that and awaken more of them for us? Also, I have one other question too. What can we do for people who have Alzheimer's, and how can we help them with a better understanding of awareness for themselves?
Okay, well, let's do the first question, and then you may have to repeat that one again for me because I obviously can only do one at a time. So
that's fine.
So, which is good because you're helping me jump ahead now to talk about dolphins. Okay, and I've been connected to dolphins, as many of you have been, for many, many years. And when I lived in Mexico, 3 dolphins came to my house every day for a number of years, about 6 years. They were like, I don't want to say pets, but I mean, they'd show up. I'd go outside and go out on this. The first house I lived in had a little deck where you could sit and kind of dangle your feet over the water. It was really cool. And this is when they started to come. And I thought this happened to everybody. I mean, I thought, oh, how the dolphins are coming. That's so nice. And they make their noises, you know, and Puddah would sit next to me and make her cat noises. And they were obviously having deep communication and fun. And then they'd start flipping around. And, you know, I started to realize that as Puddah kept saying, they want to talk to you and they're following your thought forms. So I would say to the dolphin on the left, move over to be the dolphin on the right. That was what would happen. They were really listening. So they proved that through me just sending a telepathic thought. Or I'd ask the middle dolphin to jump up and spin, you know, and they would do it. And it got to the point where even when I got in my car, if you guys have been down in Baja, the tollway runs right next to the beach where my house was. And the dolphin I named Simon would swim and jump in the water where I could see him jumping next to my car as far as, you know, like for about 2 miles.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
When he came home, he would be greeting me. Same thing like the dog, you know, he was just happy and he wanted to stay, obviously chose to stay connected to me. It was really delightful. It really made me happy. But what I learned from them, especially after I started doing the whale work, was that they are the epigeneticists of Earth, that they carry the ability to shift our DNA with our permission. Now, I think, to be completely honest, they do some of it with your higher self's permission. In other words, everybody's DNA is shifting at some level, because the earth is shifting and we're moving to a higher vibration. But for those that are awake and they ask for it to shift specifically, they say, okay, I want to work with my dormant DNA to recalibrate it so that I carry more mastery. And I can access my memories even from other lifetimes, where the mastery is. Another example would be working with dolphins and saying, I open to my mastery from another life. And then after the session, they go sit down and can play the piano. And they didn't study. For me, it was public speaking. I was terrified of public speaking. I don't know why I just didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they asked, I asked for their help, and now I can't shut up, right? Talk all the time at classes, workshops, classes. It became my life, and I feel them often. I really feel them working through me and talking. So what I want to say is they taught me about the 12 strands of DNA that is the human's light body. Okay. And so most people think we have 2 strands, but we actually have 12.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So they calibrate them, and they told me that they are the epigeneticists. In fact, I even have a message. We'll have to see if that's something you want to do.
Sure.
Yeah,
Which we'll
sure.
talk about.
Absolutely.
Okay. I have to just get up for 1 second.
I love dolphins. I love their energy. I love their wisdom, their healing. It's just unbelievable. So
And I love the whales and the dolphins.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
are just so incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never, sorry.
So if you open to the consciousness of the dolphins, some people find it a lot easier to talk to them than to whales, because I would say they're very close to us in their physicality. They're sort of us in the future. We're very connected through brother sisterhood. They've been on the planet, they say, for about 30 million years, but in essence, they're time travelers. So they can move through the timelines and do amazing things. But in 2008, they gave me this kind of signature piece, which helped me start to connect with them and receive what we call DNA recalibration information. So after I created the first module of the Whale and Dolphin Energy Medicine School, which is creating the light body with the white whales, the dolphins came in and said that they would give me templates to recalibrate the DNA, and they would work like this, like somebody might want to come in and do 3 light body activations, and then all of a sudden it's time to activate part of strand number 6, and so they come in and
I'm going to mute it for now, Linda. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this message, which might give you more insights in all of you. Also, this is sort of the foundational message for what we call module 2, which is dolphin DNA recalibration. So they said the dolphins have all shared with me that they are the designated keepers of the human DNA template system. They receive infusions of DNA activations through the Earth's ocean systems from Creator. It is their given task to process this information internally and calibrate the actual DNA that is perfect and right for each person. They also hold the energy of love and joy for actual locations on the planet that are experiencing war and chaos. They work to create frequencies that are infused into these areas on the planet with templates of peace, harmony, and healing. The Dolphin Matrix supports DNA re-encodements for people and places through the energy code systems that they use. The Dolphin family of light has created a template for the human DNA, and they use it to monitor the overall template for the pure holographic possibilities for Earth and for humanity. So if you choose to connect with the planetary dolphin family, you can receive these attunements directly from the dolphin group consciousness. The dolphins are the masters of DNA recalibration and are able to shift old energies very quickly with their healing frequencies. They also work in a frequency of joy and playfulness that is perfectly suited to the energy of ascension and the new earth. Beloved humans, please listen to your hearts as the energies accelerate during 2012 and beyond. Call upon the dolphin energies as they are the chosen emissaries of light. Their communications will be of valuable assistance in helping you to align with the crystalline grid system, your personal DNA upgrades, and the Dolphin Matrix systems that are assisting in creating the center for the new Earth. Also know that the Dolphin Matrix of energy is assisting with the cleansing and the balancing of the Earth's oceans. Currently, many scientific experts are saying that DNA plays a powerful role in newly discovered communications between dolphins and humans. One ongoing study at the Sirius Institute in Hawaii has revealed that dolphins and whales receive and transmit sound signals capable of affecting the genetic double helix for humanity. Using natural biotechnology, the dolphins can actually heal humans swimming near them sonogenetically. Many years of multidisciplinary study started at the Sirius Institute in Hawaii, where they studied the expression of DNA traditionally considered the blueprint of life and how it can be changed by the sound and electromagnetic fields generated by dolphins. New research shows that our DNA is activated by waves and particles of energized sound and light that literally switch the genes on or off. Likewise, genetic inheritance is energetically transmitted bioacoustically and electromagnetically through special water molecules that form the electrogenetic matrix of DNA. These hydroelectric structures are shaped like pyramids, hexagons, pentagons, and they direct the healing processes. This amazing phenomenon explains how remarkable healings have been reported by people in our boats, near the dolphins, and of course by swimming and making dolphin contact. The cetaceans have complex language, and they have shared this with us. This is millions of years old, and they have the largest brains on the planet. Visitations by dolphins and whales have demonstrated a history of friendship and cooperation, and even partnership with humans. The dolphins and the whales have shown that they are the ancient and wise supersentient beings on this planet. They are living examples for we humans, showing us how to live in peace and in harmony with our planet. We encourage you to connect with the dolphins and the whales each and every day, energetically, telepathically, and in the physical oceans, wherever you can. They are the living ultimate expression of how we humans can begin to live in our hearts within the pod mind. The pod mind is demonstrated by living for the good of the many, not the one. So this is from the Cetacean Councils of Light. I also want you to know that all dolphins are whales. They're toothed whales. There are two species of whales. One is the baleen whales, like the humpbacks, and the toothed whales, like the sperm whales and like the dolphins. So they're just different in that way, but they're still whales.
See, I did not know that. I always learn something new.
So this message came some time ago, but it's been a signature piece to help me tune into the genetic part of what they do and how amazing they are. I would have to say, in working with dolphins and them giving us the templates, 12 templates for the different strands, that when people come to a certain point where they've tried to release their emotional baggage by working with, I guess, therapy, maybe is the word. And I don't want to be negative in any way, but also Puddah would say this, that from the animal's perspective, it doesn't pay to revisit pain. It doesn't pay to go back through it over and over again. If anything, it just increases it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people agree or disagree with that, but if you work with dolphins, they will take you to see the vision after you release it. You'll see that before it even happens. You'll see where you're going. It's almost like a map. And they bring you into this vision of joy and happiness and what your life will look like if you let go. And they coach you so gently. And they do it even sometimes one by one. They'll connect to the person that you have an issue with. And it could be somebody that's passed over. It could be somebody that's in your life now or somebody that was in your life. It could be a spouse. And they'll call that person's higher self into what they call the womb room. And you sit there with that person and you listen to them say, mostly they're sorry, because they are. I mean, nobody really wants to live in conflict, you know. And then they ask you to say what you want to say, and you're allowed to scream and yell and kick them, and you're allowed to really let it out, in a very loving, gentle way. Or you're allowed to just cry or sit there and just be really grateful that this is finally being released. They're the best emotional coaches I've ever seen, ever, and they just do it with gentleness, but yet effectiveness.
Yeah.
So when the session's over, you really, really see a change. And sometimes it takes a few sessions because there's a lot of people you want to forgive, right? Or that you have issues with.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's what it takes is to really just be focused on that and have someone help you go through it, you know, and
Yeah.
coach you, ask the right questions, so to speak.
Yeah,
So when
absolutely.
those sessions come, I am so grateful that I can be their voice, you know, because it's just being fed this beautiful stream of consciousness that comes
Mhm.
for you. And that's just one of the templates, but I mean, they also work in ways that when you're receiving, you're sitting upright with your spine straight, and they're working up and down your spine with rainbow light. They use all colors and spectrums, and usually we put your feet in salt water, so that seems to accelerate it.
Mhm.
But that's module 2 of our school, if you're interested in knowing about our school. But we also, again, I mentioned the healing page. I and the other practitioners now from 3 years of classes are available, you know, to do
Awesome.
the sessions with you. So,
Good. So hopefully, Linda, that helps. That answered your question a little bit. One of them. What was the other one about Alzheimer's?
Yes, about Alzheimer's, yes. And how would we bring more awareness to them? Or is there a way to help them to remember?
the answer is yes and no. It
Okay,
would depend on the person. You have to remember that every person's soul is designing the journey.
Mhm.
Okay, and so the journey that you might think is distasteful or awful or that's a disability could be the very most perfect thing for them in this lifetime. And you're not going to know that from your human body. You're just going to have to trust. It's like autistic children. Master Puddah and the dolphins would tell you that autistic children are sages, and they come in with that particular disability so they can keep the world tuned out. So they can do their communications at a very high level. It's almost like they're walking the earth as scribes, and they're communicating back to spirit what it's like to be on the earth without, you know, being a normal human with those distractions.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not saying they can't improve. I've seen actually autism improve multiple times by bringing the kids, like young people, out on the boat with the dolphins. Sometimes I had a story of a little girl that she was painfully in anger. I mean, she was kicking, screaming, mad child. And they didn't seem to be able to help her. She was, I think, about 5, maybe 4. And she had 3 sisters, and her mom heard about the Dolphins Love Kids program that we have, which is our nonprofit, where we take kids out on the boat for free. We buy their tickets through the donations you guys give us. And I went out on the bow of the boat, and I put her in front of me, and I had her hold on to the rail, and she was still making noises and kind of screaming and pretty upset. But as soon as we went out of the harbor, the dolphins were right there. I mean, they don't even make us wait 1 minute. They were right there, right on the bow. And she looked down and she went, wee! She made a really happy sound.
Mhm.
She was like, oh, yes. It was like turned into a happy, making very happy noises. I can't say she was actually singing the song, but she was singing. She was making noises that were happy. And it was a 2-hour boat trip. And, you know, she never left that spot. And the dolphins never left us. She held on, and I held, that's a long time to stand up and hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But she was elated. And the dolphins were just working on her, of course. And when we get off the boat, we go to the picnic tables by the dock there, and we let the kids color a picture or thank you card, basically. And then we take their picture and we send that to the person that bought their seat, that donated the money to buy. So
Mhm.
the kids learn about gratitude, right? And they get to share their picture and the coloring thing. And this little girl, she sat down and she was coloring, and it's a lot of kids. I wasn't necessarily paying attention to her at that point. But when she came back with her mom with the picture, it was beautiful. I mean, for a little kid, it was beautiful. And she colored all these rainbow colors in her
Nice.
picture with the dolphins. And her mom says she's never colored within the lines before, never
Oh,
made
nice.
anything, you know, that anybody could determine. Mostly she scribbled with like black, you know.
Mhm. Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah. And so her big sister, I think she's like 14, picked her up and she said, thank you for giving me my sister back. But
Oh,
it's been
that's so
sustaining.
sweet.
You know? I mean, she came into the joy with the dolphins. And
Yeah. Nice.
yeah. So, I mean, there's those stories too. That's obviously one of the really great stories we've witnessed. But I mean, the kids, when we get on the boat, I always say to the kids, you know, I'm telepathic with the dolphins. That means I can talk to them. And I've worked over many years to be able to do that. I also can talk to dogs and cats, and I tell them that. I said, but you know what? You can too. So maybe you've never tried. Maybe nobody's ever told you can do that. But I'm telling you, when you get on the boat, I want you to ask the dolphins to talk to you.
Mhm.
Okay, well, everybody agreed to do that. And so when we get off the boat, I'm going to ask you what the dolphin said. And those kids grab that microphone and they say the most amazing things. You know, I mean, it's all ages. They say what the dolphin said to them. And it's always something like, yes, go audition for that play in school. You know, I'm going to help you with your homework and stop
So
beating your
something
brother.
specific for them. Yeah.
Every time. One
Wow.
little kid, who I've kind of watched him grow up, he was on a boat trip and he's holding it. He's kind of like this, you know. And I said to him, Trevor, what did the dolphin say? And he said, they told me I can never, ever, ever tell a lie. Not ever. So
Wow.
his grandma told me that he'd been lying, you know, getting in trouble. So,
Mhm.
so isn't that great?
That's awesome. Yeah.
So great.
So,
much
I
fun.
mean, like, you know, like I wonder what else is possible, right? And so,
Also, yeah. So talking about Alzheimer's, it's the soul has contracted to have that, to experience that. And that doesn't necessarily mean it can't get better, because some people do get better. I'd recommend they do a whale healing and see what happens.
yeah.
Whales have it. But also, if they don't improve, you have to honor that they're having that experience, and nothing's wrong. Okay, remember, everything is perfect in the way it is if we see it from the perspective of the higher realms, as opposed to, ow, that hurts me, you know, that kind of thing. So is it comfortable for the other people around them? No, not really. And it happened to my mom, so I can relate. But I also remember my mom, in all the years growing up, she would say, I have such a bad memory. I can't remember anything, you know. And I'd tell her after I had my awakening, I said, stop saying that, because you're creating that. Stop saying that. Start saying I have a wonderful memory. I can remember everything, you know.
Wow.
I
I'm
mean,
going to stop saying that too, 'cause I say that all the time. Nope, no more. Cancel, delete.
yeah, through your words, you should be saying what you want, even if it's not there yet.
Yeah,
You should
absolutely.
be the visionary of your own life, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Linda. And just, you know, play the whale songs even,
And
you know,
dolphins too. Yeah, and
for your Alzheimer patients, you know, play the whale songs to see how they respond to that.
yeah.
Don't expect anything. Let them be. Let them have their experience, right?
Well, honor them, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Thank you. All right. Let's take another question. Phone number ending in 378. Is it Destiny? I'm not sure. I don't remember now. Oopsie daisy. Yes, no, maybe so. 1, 2, 3, going to Patrick. Patrick, you want to unmute yourself? Oh, go ahead, Destiny. Is it Destiny? Nope. All
It's
right.
Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. What's your question for Laurie?
Well, I wanted to sort of connect with my dolphin and whale wisdom around my family of origin. I'm really struggling a lot, and I'm sort of going through an awakening now, but I go back. I don't understand why my parents do everything for my brother and why he doesn't want to do anything, and how I can help unlock my energy with them and be freer and more in my mission. And if you have any insight about my mission through the whales and dolphins.
Okay. So if I'm understanding you, your parents are more connected to your brother in the
Well,
sense
they
of
just do
guidance.
everything for him. They pay all his bills. They bought his house. He's not expected to work because he has dyslexia, and he doesn't want to do anything with it. They just do everything for him, and he won't do anything. He just likes playing the victim, and they like the role. And I'm expected to take everything else on. I'm the middle child, but my sister died. And so and he's not expected to grow up. He's not expected to do anything. And it's all sort of falls on me. And he's a very smart guy. And like many dyslexic people, he's brilliant, but he doesn't want to put any energy, and they feel guilty about it and won't call him out. So I'm wondering how I can adjust better in this situation.
Right. Well, it definitely feels like that's a challenging situation, but in truth, remember how we said each soul has a different journey. And these contracts I made, some of them before you were ever born. So what I'm hearing from Master Puddah, who's connecting into your Akash, is that you're an older soul than all three of them. So part of your reason to incarnate into this family is to be an enlightened one for them. Now, I don't necessarily recommend you go tell them that, that I'm older than you and, I know what's right, you don't, but it's information that you're ready to hear, is that your hope is that in the vibration you carry from who you are and being in this family, is that it will ripple out to them and help them, become more enlightened, I guess you'd say, or start to follow a more spiritual path. They're saying that you're Syrian, and you're not just Syrian, but Syrian is the star system where the whales and dolphins are from. And you're comfortable working with them in the sense of the genetics we talked about that the dolphins do, being keepers of the wisdom of the Akashic records, molecular librarians, all of that. That's part of, in a sense, what your soul does. So you're connected to, when a human is in, we're just, for lack of a better word, we're going to call it heaven, and they want to reincarnate onto the planet, they have to receive permission, of course, from Creator. And then they start to build what we call the blueprint of the things that they want to do, the choosing the parents, what they're going to look like, what their gifts will be, what their mission will be. And then when they get the whole package designed and ready to go and approved, they go to the Sirian star system, Sirius B specifically, and the geneticists that live on that planet will build the physical body right from the bones up. They build it. It's one of the great things I've been able to see. So you actually are part of that. You're part of the genetic engineering of the human form, and part of one of your, I will say, aspects lives there and does that. So you're very familiar with whales because that's part of their path too. They're the architects, so to speak, of the human form. They're not just whales in the ocean, they're multidimensional beings. So when you're in that family, offer what you can without feeling that their actions are directed at you personally. I mean, they're not even aware of this. I mean, maybe you've told them, so maybe they're at some level aware of it, that you don't feel that they're giving you enough attention. But I think the attention you're seeking won't come from them. It's going to come from soul family that you'll discover if you ask for it. This is for everybody. If you feel like you're ready for, higher vibrational friends, to have, people come together that are seeking mastery, that are also seeking to help the earth. If you ask for that, one of the angels that's really good to call in for that is Solara. That's one of her specialties. And ask to meet your soul family. Ask to be given opportunities now to connect directly with them. And it will happen. It will happen soon. Because this is one of the things they're waiting for you to ask for, all of us, to get to a point where we say, where's my real family? Often your biological family is not your star family. And so I really think that you came in with the intention of helping your parents, and maybe your brother too, but to be an example for them. And the codes that we talk about aren't always something, again, that's visible, but you are making a positive impact. So just stay on that path and, be there. But understanding the origins of who you are is that you have many, many lifetimes of more experience than they have. So I hope that's helpful.
Where would I go best to be with the whales and dolphins? Is there like a boat, or is there an area like you see around the planet for me to be in that space? This has been so
not specifically, but
this has been so wonderful.
Yeah, but you'd really enjoy, obviously, going on a boat to connect with them. There's a few places in the world where you can swim with them, but it's not necessarily available right now. We had a retreat for 2 weeks scheduled in Moorea, which is the most beautiful island off Tahiti. Right now, we would be there right now, but because of the pandemic and the quarantines and all of that, we had to cancel it. It's too challenging, So we'll go again, and we've been there before. But it's one of the places that you can be with the whales where it's not, where it's legal. Sri Lanka is another place, Tonga, the Dominican Republic. But if you just want to go on a boat to see dolphins and whales generally, you could come to Southern California. We have the most dolphins of anybody in the world here.
What about to go swim with them? Is that?
Yeah, to swim with dolphins, probably Bimini in the Caribbean and Hawaii are my two favorite spots to swim with them. Go to Big Island, to Kona. There's about 300 dolphins that live there, and they love to swim with people. They've been mentored since they were babies, Joan Ocean is one of the people that started that. They call it the Podners. So probably about 100 people go out and swim with the dolphins every day, sometimes just from the shore. And when I do my retreats, I take people on a boat, and of course we swim with them every day during the retreat. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But also, no, you don't have to. You don't have to see them in the physical. There are people that will never be able to go on a boat. That does not mean they can't have dolphin contact and whale contact. And this is part of the reason we created our school, is we want people to experience the multidimensional avatar beings that they are in their lives. And they'll come just based on your pure intention. And if you're interested in an in-depth, session, contact us. Go to our website. One page is just the healing page, talks all about having a personal session. The second page that I'm talking about is our school. It's called the Energy Medicine School, where you can actually learn to facilitate these energies and become a healer. And interestingly enough, our class is our 4th year, starts October 10th. So it's coming up, module 1, and we meet every second Sunday for the full day. It's a full day of immersion, and it includes your manual, which is pages and pages of dolphin and whale wisdom, and how to do the work that they've shown us how to do. And then we practice on each other. And then module 2 is working with the dolphins and the DNA recalibration. That starts in January. So, and then you can become an intern and go out and start working with people you don't know, just like any other medical program. And your internship is 4 months, and then you can graduate and get your certification. So the whales told me if I did this, that they'd go around the world in 6 years or less. Well, we're in 13 countries, and it's being translated now into 3 other languages with the manuals and the meditations. So it's international already. It's just that the whales are carrying this energy to the people. So check it out.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick. All right, good. So let me see. So, Destiny, are you back?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. You're gonna have to speak a little bit louder. Maybe it's me. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. I was wondering if there's any. I'm actually originate from Surrey too, so I know that I have a close connection with the whales. I was wondering. Right now, I'm going through a really difficult time. Dealing with my ego is like. I was wondering if there's any message that can help me today, because today I'm having a really rough day.
Okay. Well, the first thing I would say is you have to stop saying I'm having a really difficult time, because as soon as you say that, you're creating more of it, because you're the creator. So you're calling that in. Every time you say it's not going well, it's difficult, it's challenging, you're creating exactly that.
Today is a beautiful day where I see miracles occur that I know only the divine.
Or, I mean, at the very worst, you can say, I know that I'm being helped through my challenges for perfect healing or perfect harmonics. You could say, I accept the help that's coming to me now to move through any challenges that I have, to release them fully. Things like that. Say affirmations like that. And that I am love and I am light and I love myself dearly. I embrace my mission. Say all of those types of things, and it will become so. But the bottom line, and this is really for every single one of us, is that humanity is not yet living in their hearts. When you say words like you just said, you're in your mind and you're having an analytical process, and your brain, if you don't mind my saying so, is polarized. It's even in 2 halves. So the 2 halves probably will never agree, and they have no idea. Your brain doesn't have any idea how to generate love. It's not capable of it. It's not even sentient. It's your heart that is alive and well, and is what I'm going to call the source of solution energy. So when you can move your energy from your mind into your heart, you start to be who you really are. You start to feel only love and joy. Because let's say you're in your heart and you're feeling love and joy and you're having a wonderful time, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, somebody says something sideways, or you see something on TV, or you turn on the news, God forbid, and you're back in your mind. You're back in your mind with what Puddah calls the eternal ping pong game. You can do it. No, you can't. You can do it. No, you can't. You can do it. No, you can't. It'll talk you out of the most incredible things. And, our society fosters this. It teaches you to compete, which is it's a horrible thing to think that we'd ever have to compete for anything. Source energy has given us everything we need. You have that at your fingertips, but you'll not access it until you're in your heart. You'll know the eternal love that's there for you, and you'll start to emanate your intentions to manifest from the heart, and they'll be, Johnny, I mean, they'll just snap, snap, snap. You'll manifest at a completely different rate. And clearly, most of the manifestations when you ask from your heart will even be better than what you asked for. Be lovingly surprised. But again, it's a retraining yourself. And I have a meditation. It's called Entering Your Sacred Heart. It came to me after I studied the Flower of Life with Drunvalo Melchizedek, which is the Tibetan ways, right? The Tibetans are the ones that are holding the highest vibration that humanity has on our planet. And, you know, they live up in the mountains, and obviously they're in their hearts to create that vibration. They're holding space for all of us to awaken. But when you can go into your heart, you start to make decisions based on what your heart tells you, which means you're connecting to your soul. And the soul, if you're in your mind, you'll never hear your soul. You'll just crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, sorry, through most of your life. And if you watch what's going on out there for people that are not in their hearts, that's what they're doing. You know, they're not happy in their bodies, and they don't see solution energy. They only see invasion and, you know, horrible, difficult things coming to them, which have nothing to do with who you are as a soul. Okay, so you can live on this planet where there is duality and transcend it. And you can do it today. You can start right now. Okay, will you have to go back to your heart multiple times? Yes, maybe 100 times a day until you retrain yourself. Because humanity is trained to judge. I mean, we are trained to do that. We're trained to give an opinion about something. We're trained to be smart. Smart is just, it's not even a real word. It's everybody has the intelligence of the universe within their heart. It's all there. God doesn't hide anything from you ever. All you have to do is ask and access. Ask and access, and it will come to you. And your guides will help you. So, and again, everybody wants to be telepathic, clairaudient, right? But until you activate your heart energy and connect it to the pineal gland, which is located between the two halves of the brain, you won't necessarily be able to send and receive clear signals. So the pineal gland is the organ that God gave you to be a radio transmitter, so to speak, for spirit. So you never feel alone. You'd always be able to access your team and the guidance of Creator. So there's a couple of different things I can suggest. One is to take your energy from your mind and drop it down into the heart and see yourself like going down in an elevator. And the elevator door opens and you walk into your heart, and you're received with, you know, enthusiasm and joy and celebration. And you feel the love that is there for you, for your life. And then you start to access that wisdom through meditation or just go sit by yourself for a minute and go into the heart and ask the questions that you want to ask and see what happens. There'll be completely different answers than you'll ever get from your mind, from the analytical process. So, and again, we have to retrain ourselves because this is a new way of living, you know, we're not comfortable with it yet. The other way I like is to take your consciousness from your mind and go out the back of your head, see it like a ball of light, and come in through an arc that comes like from the back of your head through the shoulder blades, like, boom, you're there. It's very fast, very easy. It's like, boom, you're there. So I like that. And I'm not ashamed to say I still do it when I'm rattled, you know, like you go out into the world and say somebody cuts you off on the freeway, or you hear people arguing, just boom, back in my heart, and coming to neutrality to where I'm not allowing it to phase me. It's not my path. It's not my argument. So, you know, it's lots of people are angry and they don't even know why. So try to think of them as, like Master Puddah always says, see them as bullies in the backyard throwing rocks at each other. What would you do to those little kids? Would you go out and ask them to stop throwing rocks, and then you might walk them home to their mom? But you know, they're just little kids. They don't know what they're doing yet. That's how I see people that are acting out negatively. They're just unawakened souls that need some guidance. Now, you're not going to make them wake up, but you can ask them to stop throwing rocks, and you can move out of their vicinity so they're not throwing them at you, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and you can create a sacred boundary. All comes from the heart. So anyway, I have a meditation I mentioned, which is on my CD, and it's in the package. It's called Laurie Reyon Master Cat, to speak. And it's a really great meditation. It's about 15 minutes, and it not only teaches you these two techniques, but it'll guide you to do it. You know, just thousands of people have used it, including myself, to stay in the heart.
And that's the magic, is of it coming out of your head and into your heart, just constantly, consistently, regularly.
Until you can stay.
Yeah.
Until negativity around you affects you, not in any way. You can be in the most horrific thing watching it, and it doesn't affect you, because out of the core of your heart, you understand that person or that group or what's going on is outside of your soul's journey. It's their soul's journey. And you'll never understand it from your physical body. You just have to respect it. Master Puddah says people actually came to this planet to kill each other. That's their mission. It's not your mission, it's their mission. And how dare you try to understand it because it's playing God and you're not God. First of all, you should be spending that time you're judging, working on you and your ability to love. Self-love, right? Self-love is mastery. So turn your face from it and know you're on a planet where that's going to be. It doesn't have to be in your world. Okay. And stop trying to change the world and work on you. That'll take up the rest of your life. Every day, all day, work on you.
Absolutely. So, Destiny, hopefully that helps. Come back to your heart space,
Yes,
come back
thank
to your heart
you.
space, come back to your heart space. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank
Lori.
you.
Right. And for
Thank you,
everybody,
Laura.
we have to start changing the way we speak.
Yeah.
Don't acknowledge negativity. Don't call it forth. Don't say, even if you have a pain in your body, just say, I'm calling forth now the energy and the assistance, the spiritual awareness that can shift this challenge until it's completely removed. And I'm in such gratitude for this. Be grateful for it, it's showing you something, and then ask for it to be taken away. As soon as you acknowledge it, it can go. That's what it wants. It wants you to acknowledge it.
Right. Right. I'm laughing because it's like, yeah, my neck is telling me it has an issue. I've been acknowledging it. I'm doing better. I'm doing better today. So Marcy, we're just gonna take a few more quick questions. Marcy's asking, are there any physical signs of your DNA being altered? Like I'm taking it from when you're doing the DNA recalibration or when you're doing the whale healing or dolphin healing, all of that.
Often many physical signs. First one is feeling better, like feeling true bliss and joy in your heart, feeling like, wow, I'm here to help. Wow, this is great. Yeah, there are emotional signs and often physical signs. I have to say, it really is the miracle zone, and we never know. But I mean, I've seen the vertebrae in a broken back heal, and I've seen bones in people's legs heal. I've seen hearing be restored. I've seen eyesight be restored, and I've seen people just step into their power where they're like, well, lots of times they're not going to do the job that they hate anymore. They're going to move. They're going to have the courage to move to do something that they enjoy and that maybe provides them the abundance they deserve. I mean, we're never going to make the amount of money we want until we feel worthy of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So lots of physical changes. Yeah. Of being well-being and healing both, and lots of emotional changes too. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you've never tried working with whales, obviously that's why I'm here, is to help you.
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
I do. I highly recommend.
Yeah. Randy, did you have a question? And Randy, you wrote something in the chat and I'm like, did your dog just die recently? Zeus?
Hello.
Hi.
Am I okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
Zeus is he's in the picture.
Yeah. Did he just
In my
pass
picture.
recently?
It's been some time. It's been more than about almost 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry.
It was great. He was with me for 13.
Mm-hmm.
So attractive that
So beautiful.
I was hoping that even if just for a moment, can you bring in some sort of a communication or awareness
From your dog? Is that what you're asking, from your dog?
Yes,
Yeah.
with
Zeus.
So 2 years ago, and his name is Zeus?
yeah, he's in the picture.
Well, we can try. Yeah.
A white husky.
Okay, we'll ask you if we can jump forward. I'm going to ask Master Puddah to come in too, because she's very fast with this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to know? What do you want to ask him?
Anything. I'm learning to heal this body.
You're learning to heal your body,
Yeah,
and you want him to know that?
he knows that.
Okay. So do you have a question? He really loves you.
Is there a way to refine my effort?
Well, from the animal's perspective, they feel the same way I do. In fact, they're my teachers, is that the animals are the greater body of healers and teachers. And they live in a vibration that's outside of duality, that's higher than ours. You may have noticed that animals don't really hear the word no. They only hear the word yes, because they don't exist in a world where it's polarized. So he would ask you to come to that place to where you're not in a polarized world. It's just a little bit what we talked about living in your heart and seeing the great powers that you have as the eternal immortal being that you are. You recognize myself. He says, say, I am divine. I am divinity embodied.
I am.
I am love and I am light. And I am capable of healing my body. I'm capable of healing my emotions. I'm capable of creating a life of mastery. And I acknowledge that the animals, particularly Zeus, is here to help me with that. Do you want him to come back?
What do you mean come back?
Reincarnate.
Live? No. He can do whatever he wants. It's not for me to choose.
Well, actually, it is.
Hmm.
It is for you to choose. If you ask him, there's a very good chance he will come back. And if you don't, he'll probably go on and do other things, but not necessarily. I mean, animals love to reincarnate and come back if we want them back, if we'll open our hearts to that. So,
I'm not really well enough to care for
okay.
a
So
companion.
just communicate with him then in this way and know that he is there and just loves you so much. There's such a great love story here. So you would be a prime candidate to work with the whales too if you want accelerated healing. So think about that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Randy. Okay, so wow, we have just done so much on this call already. So I want to take a few minutes and talk about the special offer, and then we'll come back. So the special offer is available at alara.at/show/Laurie9. And Laurie, do you want to just talk about this package? I'm going to put the link in the chat as well. There you go.
Well, there's several products in CD or download form actually that are coming. One is Ascension Guidance, which is a step-by-step primer on how to raise your vibration and to consider activating your Merkaba and your third eye. And then there's some messages from the dolphins and whales, which are very uplifting. So we've tried to put it into a form, both the movie and the CD Ascension Guidance, that people can access, not necessarily all in one day. It's like, again, a primer. Like today I'll do 2 or 3 messages maybe, and then go and work with those. And then another day I'll do another one. So the film is beautiful because it takes you through them, but the CD has the actual meditations where, again, you close your eyes, and you go into your higher self and within. So that's good. The CD, Laurie Reyon and Master Cat, to speak again, has the meditation, entering your sacred heart. It also has a wonderful meditation that's Puddah's. It's a conscious time travel where you learn to rebirth yourself, to cut cords along the way that you've taken on in this lifetime. And most people don't even know that that's possible, but it's a wonderful meditation. There's also the service prayer, more messages from the dolphins and whales. So I recommend that for people that are serious about their path, to really want to make some significant changes. And then there's a beautiful song that opens the directions. So some people don't know how to open the directions and live in sacred space. So you can use Pudah's song to do that. There's, help me out with the list because I don't have that in front of me.
So then there's also the workshop, activating the pineal gland, third eye, accessing your superpowers. Yes,
I highly recommend that, where we teach you the processes of how to access the third eye and connect it to the heart. So important, important, life-changing. Yeah.
And then there's aligning with your soul's purpose, which is a 4-week workshop.
Yeah, where we do beautiful processes, intense processes, really, to get you to tune into the soul and speak to the soul about who you are, where you're from, and what you're here to do, so that you're not wondering what that is. You have some clarity. And this is a Seth class. So the higher being that is Master Cat Puddah is Seth, and it's an old ancient soul, even told that it was the first soul. So you're in the presence of a wisdom teacher that can really help you. And it can lead you down this path to where you can even fine tune the questions, because sometimes we don't know what questions to ask, but yet we're hungry for the information. So it's very powerful. 4 weeks of work for you there. Yeah.
And then there's Animal Communication Workshop Class 1.
Yeah, and this is, it's a 3-hour class which teaches you the basics, again, of connecting the heart to the third eye, and then learning the process of triangulation so that you can communicate with animals. Are a lot easier to communicate telepathically than people are. because people have blocks, right? And we're not necessarily comfortable with people reading our minds or knowing all about us. So that would be something you would pursue at a later date. And again, only with people that give permission. You never want to invade someone's personal space if you have that ability without their permission. But it teaches you, and we use pictures of animals to do that. So it can help you break through to communicate with your animals. It's a fun class too.
And we have Connect to Your Star Family 4-week workshop. We talked a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah, that's an intense workshop to answer like questions that our last caller had, like is how to go through the dimensions to travel to a place where the decision was made to reseed the planet, to reseed our DNA back to 12 strands after Atlantis. And once you find out, you do the meditation to travel to that place, to the star Antares, is where the Galactic Federation meets, and you're able to connect to an emissary from your star family. And that's how the process starts, is that emissary then is going to guide you even to go to the planet where your star family is, or ask them to come to you. But there's a deep connection that's made by accessing this information and understanding that it's really cosmology now that we should be studying, right? Going beyond just the earth plane, because we're just visiting here. There's a lot more to know and to be, and to bring in the support of your star family. So I'm going to teach that class again this coming year, but it's fantastic. It's a Seth class.
Yeah. So all of that is available for $97, and for the first 24 hours, if you choose to purchase it within 24 hours, you get a 10% discount. Make sure you click on the button that says 10% discount. And these are all accessible right away. So it's not like you have to wait for anything. They're accessible right away. And start learning, start integrating, start being in your heart. That's where it's at. It's in your heart. It's not in your head. It's not in your mind.
Also, it has 2 CD downloads that are my most current stuff, which is the first one is called Messages of the Dolphins and Whales. The whole download is like 10 or 12 messages. I can't remember. And the second one is guided meditations, which are incredibly powerful, that we use in our whale school too. I mean, you have access to those meditations to connect to right into the whale consciousness for healing.
And that alone will start to shift your energy field, start to shift you at the cellular level as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Good. So awesome. So that is available. All of that is available at alara.at/show/Laurie9. So please do take advantage of it. Like I said, 24 hours special for 10% off. And then, and again, go back and watch or listen to this call again, because there was so much wisdom that Laurie brought in, the messages, the channeled messages from the whales and from the dolphins, just, huge amount of information. But it's about, again, coming back to your heart space, expanding your heart space, allowing the wisdom of the whales, allowing the wisdom of the dolphins to come in to assist you. And again, we're not alone. We are never, ever alone. We have guidance. We have support. It's time for us to reach out and connect to our teams and, take advantage of that support.
Yes. So we can carry more light, right?
Yeah. And that's what it's about.
Light is wisdom. Light is healing.
Yeah. So
I just want to say,
go ahead.
I just want to say again, before we stop, that I want to encourage people that feel that they have the inclination within them to become a healer, that's part of what's happening in your body now. If you're feeling that, I'm just getting the biggest hug, is that the whales are calling people out that are in the world now that have that ability. It's an innate ability. Maybe you haven't developed it yet. Maybe you're already a healer and you just want to advance your healing practice. I really like you to take a look at our webpage on the Energy Medicine School and look at the templates and feel if this is something you'd like to do. And people do come to our school that just want personal expansion. They don't necessarily go for the professional certification to make it a career or a part-time job, but both are available. So it's the Energy Medicine page at lauriereyon.com. So I'm their voice. And again, classes start in October. So something to consider.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's like, whether you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for others, right now we all could use more healing, more support, more light, right? More guidance. We all use more right now. We're just going through so much at the moment, right? So we can all use a little bit more support. And so if you do that, for yourself, awesome. That's going to ripple out to everybody else around you anyways. When you start to work on yourself, it ripples out to everybody around you.
So you change the coding in your body. Yeah, absolutely. And it's about realizing that almost everybody's had just a lot of lives, let's just say several, some of you even hundreds of lives. And there's mastery stored in your DNA. And to bring that forward, unbelievable things can happen and change your life to where you don't maybe even have any concept of that now.
Yeah.
But when you access that and you allow them to recalibrate you, so to speak, clear out the old energies, bring in the new, it's just so amazing. And I wish that we, had time to even do testimonials, all the people that are doing this all over the world.
Well, Jen says the light body activations are super powerful and the school changed my life. Thank you.
Yeah, I challenge you to find anything other than off-world beings like Pleiadians and Arcturians and so forth that can do this type of healing that the whales do. I've never come across anything like it. I'm not just saying this because this is what I do. I'm saying it because it's true, and it can be true for you too. So.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful. I've experienced it myself many, many times, and it's really powerful. I always get zonked out, I completely zonk out for feels like hours, but like even today at the beginning of the call, we started to feel that shift when we were talking about the whales, when the whales came in, the dolphins came in, we felt that shift. I felt it physically in my body, right?
Yeah.
So if you're willing to receive that, you can, and you will. You just have to come from your heart space and call on the whales, call on the dolphins to assist you, and they will.
Yeah, you're open to it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Good, awesome. Does Master Cat Puddah have anything else to add or share?
She just always is helping people remember to go into the heart. And if it isn't loving, don't think it, don't say it, don't do it. Don't fax it, don't put it in a letter. I mean, if it isn't loving, to monitor yourself, take the responsibility as the master that you are to only generate love and joy, and it will be so. Okay.
Beautiful. Wow, that's a powerful message. Yeah, thank you. That's something that we all should be, keeping in our minds, in our awareness of like, is it loving? Yes, awesome. If it's not, don't send it out there, and change it within yourself, change the message, come back to your heart space. When the message is not loving, you're not in your heart, you're in your head, right? So come back to your heart space.
So many people, like you heard, it's so natural for people to say, oh, it's such a bad day, or I'm hurting, or my life isn't working. You have to stop doing that. You have to stop and say, I am the creator of my own experience. Let's all say that. I am the creator of my own experience.
I'm the creator of my own experience. I am.
I bring into form. Okay. What I think and feel, I bring into form. So you think differently, you create differently. And of course, the thinking process, again, should be generated to the heart where it becomes the feeling state. The emotional body is the creative force. What you feel is what's really happening. What you think is not. It may be confusing you. You're basically living in a hologram. Okay, so when you let your mind take over, you're stuck in the hologram.
Yeah.
You're not living anything that's real. It's sustainable. Love is what's real. And you have to embrace that and be that. Be the example. Puddah would always say, a whole bunch of people wanted the part you got. Okay. That's how you should know how important you are, because you're one of the people on the planet right now that's in physical form. A lot of people wanted to come to Earth, and you got the part. So live it, do it, be it. Okay.
Wow, that's powerful. Awesome, thank you. And again, it's a great reminder. It's a great reminder to remember how magnificent you are, how powerful you are, that you are a creator of your reality. You are a creator of your reality. So what are you creating, right? And be aware of it. It's like, this is something I just got a message for myself just in the past couple of days. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I am not choosing this anymore. Because, old stories, old beliefs, old paradigms, old whatever. It's like, nope, no more. It's like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore. And it was such a freeing, liberating moment. I was in such deep gratitude to source, to God, to nature, it's like, oh my God, it was so wonderful. And it's like, oh my goodness, what was I doing? What was I thinking with this? Like, oh my God, it's not important. It's not even relevant. It's like, no more. So I'm so grateful that I get to take these wonderful walks with my baby Neo every day. And I just get to experience nature and love, and the love from the universe, love from my guides, love from my beautiful community. I'm just so grateful. I don't know how I got so lucky. So
that's the best mantra of all, is I am grateful for my life.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you again, Laurie, for being here with us and sharing your beautiful wisdom, sharing your heart and your love with all of us, and Master Cat Puddah and the whales and the dolphins. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful. And thank you everybody for your questions and comments and feedback. I know we didn't get to everybody. And please do take a look at the special offer page from Laurie, which is available at alara.at/show/Laurie9. Right. So thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Valentina. Bye for now.
So much.
Love you
all.
too.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.